using sports to help better the community. That's how you bring them together through sports. Now going to our games, right? Just being honest with you, you don't see the fights, you don't see anything. It's love. Like when you hear the band and they dance and everybody having fun, I couldn't wait to see that feeling back in the city. Seeing like fathers bringing their sons to games now again, that was dope. Watching them wear like they old jackets and like, yo man, thanks for Shabazz and that's a wonderful feeling. Like I walked into the barbershop. Yo, the bar, it was packed, and I'm in Weekway territory because I'm on Lions Ave at the Poppy spot over here, and they like, yo, man, that was dope, man. Y'all knocked them off. What was mine? Everybody was saying this, that, and the third, but the feeling was, y'all graduated from Shabazz here. I was just like, I go into the restaurants, lady like, man, take that Shabazz stuff off, right? I said, nah, we got the job done, and after that. She was just like, yo, you know what? You're right, man. Here, take this uptown, blah, 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 blah. It felt good. It felt like, it felt special. So that's what I just want to bring back, man. I just want to bring the love back, like the back in the day feeling that they had it where when you played sports, everybody looked out for you.
Keep it a buck. We here in the studio.
A lot of these offers don't be that real, so it's not committable.
That feel like when everybody's getting their turn and it's not yours. What they call you? The Godfather, New Jersey.
Powerful man. I ain't gonna brag, but that's what they said. I ain't say that. This episode is brought to you by Keep It a Buck Clothing. Stay true to yourself in what you wear, and keep it Shabazz.
We back. New week. Same old attitude. New hardware.
Yeah, Nas Oliver wanted you to see it.
Wanted me to see it specifically?
I mean you guys to see it. I'm sorry.
I mean, tell it like it is. Keep it a buck, don't keep it stuck.
Yeah.
Get right to it. We ain't even gotta play around.
Go ahead.
Get right to it.
So last week on the show, my two co-hosts decided they wanted to go with Butler, being that Butler beat Weekway, so they felt that Butler would, I guess, take us out. I don't know.
Well, mine was home field advantage.
Okay.
And I will say that the refs, they did an amazing job reffing that game. I will say that. Mm-hmm. So I thought that it was going to be some type of home field advantage type, but y'all went out there and handled business.
Thank you.
Salute to y'all.
Yeah, so we was in a good game with Butler. Shout out to Butler. Guys came to play. First off, got to shout out 5-star Zeta McDonald, 2 tutties, over 100 yards. He catching the ball, sacks, tackles for loss. Shout out to Amari Gaines, 15 solo tackles. And had to go from corner to inside the box. Shout out to the QB, Nas Smith, man. You led the troops, the general, like I said. Just keep leading your team. Bashay Sanders, man, this guy is like electrifying. He's the energizer bunny for the team. Davion Porter, another one, solid contributor, do the little things, make things happen. Laquan Gaddy, big guy, man. Had an interception.
Oh, yes.
He was out of there. Yeah, he was dogging too, man.
He's all right?
He's good. He's good. He's playing this week. Judah Pruitt, man, you came to play. You showed why you the Boston College commit. You showed why they chose you. You held it down both sides of the ball. Keep it going. Nayad Walker, speechless. Speed. This guy's the dog, man. Continue that. Lennox Bonsu, our middle linebacker, played tremendously. Shout out to the center, Bam, and our other back, which is Bushwick. Bushwick get busy. But I can't leave without shouting out my boy, Lil Nas. It was a play that happened with the snap on the extra point. And for y'all don't know, he was a quarterback, growing up. And just watching him get out of that, I was bugging out. Actually hurt my heel.
Yeah, so I was at home like, okay,
I'm like, you know, I was jumping. I'm like, oh man, oh, get out of that. And then, you know, it happened. But the night before, we talked about just doing all the little things to do for the team to win. Just whatever it is, forget all the accolades and stuff. Just do the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? And seeing stuff like that, that was dope. But we knocked them off now. First year out the gate. You know, shout out to Coach Nas Oliver, shout out to the whole staff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to run the names down, I'll be up here all night, but shout out to the staff, shout out to Lethal Speedy, shout out to TJ, Danny, Kels, you know, there's another Nas, there's a bunch of Nas's out there, you know what I mean? Coach Speedy, Tyrese, everybody, the whole staff. Hope I ain't forget nobody. Put charges to my, you know, my brain and not my heart. But shout out to our strength coaches, Coach Mack, and Coach Alif, man, Big Leaf. Yo, these guys do a great job with the kids. They've been there since Oliver got the job, and they just, you know, help us get to where we at right now. You know, so you can see that they motto is being conditioned for the mission. But that's all I got for the Bads right now. We looking forward to playing Mountain Lakes, up at Mountain Lakes, you know. Shout out to the city, man. Oh, man, at the game, crazy crowd came out, whole city out. Band made their famous entrance, you know. We actually went 3 and out.
I was watching.
And then the band came in when we was on defense, and you could see the difference. Shout out to our band. Shout out to the band director, man, Coach Sheed. I told him, I'm like, you got to be there on time. He like, yo, we was going back and forth about this. It was crazy. Shout out to the AD. We was on it like, yo, the band got to be there.
Yeah,
you know?
that's a part of the team, man.
But first year, man, to be sectional state champs. Shout out to the kids, man, everybody.
So how does it go going forward?
That's what I wanted to know.
So I think it's like a regional.
So
Which
is
is
this game after
This
the
game
next
right
game?
here, the next game is the state championship game.
Which will be played where?
Either Rutgers or MetLife.
Okay.
So let's get the Bads to MetLife. You know, they
Who's
always.
on the other side of the bracket?
Oh man, it's Glassboro versus Woods.
Oh, gosh, oh, it's tough.
Yeah, it's one town, one high school. You know, but they just happen to be Group 1. But they're a powerhouse down South Jersey.
Yeah, that's where Poppy came from.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Isaiah Pacheco.
So we looking forward to that, you know. But I'm looking forward right now
To this next.
to this next game. But I had wanted to say something. Last week I was a little hard, you know. But shout out to the city of Newark, man. And I want to really take my time with this. I want to shout out to all the local high schools, Central, Barringer, Eastside, man. Dane, what you doing down there is tremendous, man.
What you did?
Yeah, what he did down there, and what he's continued to do right now. He just different. He building something different down there. So I salute to you. Shout out to Westside. And then most importantly, man, shout out to Weequahic High School, right? I gotta shout y'all out because we kind of like go at each other so hard, but I'm looking at it from a different standpoint. I'm looking at it how we could all come together and really push the message. You know what I'm saying? Because if we kind of keep, if I use my platform to like, I'm not trying to tear nobody down. I want y'all to grow. I think the football is back in Newark, like on a major level. You know, just keep it on the field, and then we off the field. It's just nothing but love, and I think that's what's going to help bring the community as a whole together. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Weequahic, shout out to the whole staff, Big Logan, Lil Logan, Barnes, Foster, both Fosters. You know, I salute y'all guys, man. So
hold on, did his son play for you?
Nah.
In Brick City?
They never played at Brick City.
Didn't y'all have a Logan Barnes on Brick City?
No, yeah, we did. That's our boy. That's they was from Staten Island.
Oh, okay.
But
and his father's a law enforcement as well. All right, yeah. So I thought it happened to be the same one.
Nah, man, those guys, you know, they got a lot of history in the city, you know, and they, you know, having that much rich tradition and winning, and kids in the pros. So, you know, obviously when you become a high school coach, you're like, yo, I want to play the best. I want the best. You know what I'm saying? I want the best. And like going back and forth with coach, I remember at Tahir camp, I just told him this is like what's going to happen. Not on some old being, but I said this, you know what I'm saying? Because I know what I'm coming with. I know what I'm bringing, you know what I'm saying? And then I know what, you know, they got some stuff too, you know what I mean? And I'm looking forward to, like we said, we talk about Thanksgiving.
This week, I was about to say, like after all this kumbaya, what's gonna happen? Is the freshman playing? Is the varsity?
It wasn't
I guess we'll see.
It wasn't a kumbaya. It was more so, because we sit here, we talk about all the parochials, you know what I'm saying? We show mad time on them, and for me, it ain't y'all. It ain't
I'm
you.
about to say, who to blame? Like,
it's me. I should take more time out and using the power and the platform to kind of big those guys up. So like, it's guys all over the city. So if you coming out and you feel like, oh, I'm trying to go to this private school so I could go to college, right? So I could go to college. That's not the reason to go there then, because you may not go to college from there, and then you put your hope and everything all into that, right? You get there and then it don't happen. That's a bigger reality. That's in the world. Like I've been, you got. Not saying there's no shine on it, but what happens is, like we know, like they're gonna get the best kids every year coming in no matter what. If we start keeping our kids that's from our town home at their local schools, put more coaches and more men, right? Because obviously, how many of the kids is really going to these Power 5 schools and things like that, right? You got to be able to put them in position to the school that's for them. Everybody, that's just a dream, right? But reality could be a smaller school. Then you could have a plan and build different things and come out and be successful. Everybody ain't going to the league. That's 1%. That's a fact. You could be the 5-star, 4-stars, 4-star guys that do everything that they're supposed to do and still don't get to the league. What's the end all be all? And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I want to build with all of these guys right here. How we could help make sure everybody good.
So my thing is, what that got to do with the privates? What y'all got making sure everybody?
Because what's happening with us is the first thing we do, like I'm guilty of it too. It's like, all right, yo, you my man, nah, don't go there. Go here. Go. You should go to that school up there. Mm-hmm. Right? It's good for you. It's away from this, that, and the third, whoopty whoop. You should go here. You should go here. With the goal of going to college. But if everybody here, that's with the locals, get all our act together, like how people, I may not want to go to that school because there's a lot of stuff going on here or whatever it is. But if all our best kids continue to lead, right, then what are you left with?
You want me to answer that? So whether that's right now what you're building at Shabazz, right? You talk about, you got a 5-star kid, you got Nayad, you got the Judah Pruitt, you got this, you got that, right? These are all high-level kids. How many kids do you think a college is going to pick up from one program? FBS schools is going to pick up from one program. You ever seen a school where they came in up here and took 13 kids?
I did. I seen
up here. FBS.
No.
Power 5 school took 13 kids off one team.
I seen it like a year ago at Irvington.
13 kids? Power 5?
It was close to
Power 5.
No,
you didn't see that. You didn't see that.
So what I'm saying is, all right.
And let me tell you why.
I'm
not saying they don't have that.
Yeah.
But the schools go in, and if you notice, like, they just be looking for like 3 or 4 kids, no matter how many you got. This is why everybody in the school don't get a Miami offer when they come. You see 3 kids get it, and then NC State will come behind them, and another 3 kids get that. Why didn't everybody get it? They're all Power 5. You just took a wide receiver, then you take the other wide receiver. So I personally believe that has nothing to do with school. So even when you talk about going to Shabazz, you go to Shabazz, hypothetically. Let's say Nayad Walker is the Quincy Porter of that school, right? How many of those you think you get before somebody gets overlooked? And that's at every level.
No, I get it. I get that part, what you're saying. I'm saying is on our, so speaking of Shabazz, right? We have the do-it-all kids, right? Our guys, some of them 5'7", 5'6", 5'8", 5'4", right? And they're football players, right? They're football players. And Nas Oliver's gonna find a place, a home for them. You'll see, right? But now, give me those kids that's at those private schools, and then you'll
And that
see
means
that.
somebody's gonna get bumped down.
I get it.
Everybody can't shine. That's the point. So
right.
like even if you
so
say
remember when I don't see. So for me, like back in the day, looking at the Big North, how I came like Big North, it was told right. When I was watching Don Bosco, it was like 22 kids going Division I.
oh,
right?
whoa, don't try to do that to today.
No, just here. I'm not saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not. That's what I'm saying.
No,
You
no,
made my
'cause-
point.
no. This is the point I'm making. When you was watching that, when you seen 22 kids go Division I, dudes was also sitting and waiting to their junior and senior year
Right.
to play.
And then look, when I didn't know what was
So no, I'm not about to let you off the hook.
I'm about to-
Because dudes like you changed that. When you told kids, when you reclass, you need to go in and play varsity right away. If you don't play, transfer to Pope, transfer here, transfer there, right?
Nope.
We can't
No,
do
no,
that
no.
now.
I've never.
We can't move
listen,
and change
hold on.
our seat now.
Don't say that. Don't say.
Don't say that?
Don't say transfer here, transfer there. Mine's transfer. Don't do that part. Don't say.
No.
I said-
Not yours. I'm talking about Brick City kids.
So listen, when Brick City kids,
When you tell the parent to reclass, what's the point in telling them to reclass? What are they gonna do?
they'll be better. They'll be mentally tougher at the next level.
And they
period.
should play when? Because you never told a kid you should be playing
no.
freshman.
Certain
reclass.
Wait. Don't do that. Certain kids.
am I doing?
No, not that. Don't do that. All right, hear me out. Certain kids should not play freshmen. They passed that point, right? And then there's some kids that reclass that should play freshmen. My son reclassed.
Okay. I'm not knocking none of that. I believe you're right. But what I'm saying is with Bosco, those kids were still waiting to junior year. That's not happening no more.
All right. But you can't compare that, right? This is what I'm saying. When Coach Toll was coaching at Bosco, right? When you were waiting, you knew you was waiting for what? This kid went to Florida. I'm coming out next. I'm already got my stuff. I've got my stuff riding the bench.
Nah.
No.
Who had their stuff riding the bench? Who had their stuff riding the bench?
Don't do that.
No, I can't do that because I was there too. Like you was there, I was there.
Somebody else will comment later and they'll do it.
I was there like you was there too.
I'm not that good.
And again,
I remember this. I used to be like, they're like, well, he's going to Sacred Heart, right? Or he's going to Sacred Heart. He's going to Rhode Island. He's going here. And by that time, I didn't heard Colorado this so much. I didn't even, on everything I love, they had to educate me on that. I didn't even know what those schools were. No BS.
What,
and I was
Sacred
like,
Heart?
no, I knew what Sacred Heart was because
it.
I had a kid named Greg Moore that went there. But if you knew what Greg Moore was a monster. He broke every rushing yard that they had in the school where he was at. But he was there and he was wilding. But it was kids that was at Bosco that was just running down on kickoff going to Sacred Heart. Because coach said, yo, he could play. He's going to be a linebacker there for you or whatever it is. And they were playing at the next level. Playing.
Well, that makes sense when your first 11 is like, what, they had like 8 All-Americans one year. So when you start to say that and you say, we beating everybody in the country, which is not happening nowhere in New Jersey right now.
Right.
We smacking everything in New Jersey 40 or better, right? So you're seeing this in California, Alabama, Florida, right? And then we're saying, we're smacking them, but we got kids that can start anywhere else in the country. But they got to wait behind Elijah Shoemate, behind Jabril Peppers, behind the linebacker kid, Strizak.
Yeah.
And those. So I just saying that was a different time.
They had your boy, Leonte Caruth. We
Yeah,
go
but
on and
today
on.
you're not getting that. Whether nowhere up here, you're not getting that because nobody's waiting. This is where the parity came in.
Because of now when I'm waiting, it's not the same. It's not the same. You don't believe nothing old boy saying by now.
What you mean?
Because I'm looking at the guy that's in front of me. That's going to whatever he going to. Lauderhill, whatever. And you like, what? And I'm waiting for him to graduate for me to play.
So again, that brings me back to the original point. You just said, you go over here, you sit and you wait, you can come here and you can play. That's the philosophy of today. Nobody's sitting waiting because everybody's... Think about that. Like,
All right, so look, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. So those same kids, that's what I'm saying. So for me, is those same kids, right? They could, like you said, they could play for me right now.
But that's the point I'm trying to tell you. At what point do you get too much?
Oh no, I'm building.
You get what I'm saying? Like you acting like
I'm
you.
taking this back
you
to
above
soul
that.
days.
So
No,
are you
I'm
trying
a
to
butter
say
law
where
right now.
you-
Yeah,
That's the whole thing that I'm getting at the whole time
You're
here.
trying to say
At
that-
what point do you have, like I
But
used the
I feel
Nayad,
like
that
what I'm
you
you
trying to say
watching us-
is that those people then will say, okay, I'll wait my turn.
There
The
you
people
go.
on
And
the
I'm
bench.
Well, then they could do the same thing where they at.
They don't have. No. Listen, what I'm explaining.
Because
to you.
the person in
You're
front of
gonna
them is
see
going.
it. You're gonna see it. So for me right now,
What am I
let me just show
missing?
you. Let me just show you.
Because I see you
I
get
seen
it.
it.
I don't-
No,
Here
yeah.
we go. Let's say, for instance, this 13U team that's on Brick City right now, right? They move, they step in, they go to freshman football, right? The kids, we got a group of kids that's coming back on 25 and 26s, right? If you look, we have freshmen now playing varsity right now. Cool, right? So now it's pieces. It's like it's a little piece here, piece here, boom, boom, boom. Once that piece fill in, remember this guy's going right here. They're gonna be playing freshman ball together. Boom. Our 25s gonna graduate. The 26s now gonna step in. These guys gonna come in like a sophomore type game, right? Because they just played this whole freshman thing together and they've been together. They're gonna move up. Because they together, same position, same thing. They've been running the same already. They're gonna be ready to step in, fill in right here. Now I'm gonna have the next freshman group, right? They're gonna graduate. That's the 26s. Now they're gonna be young again. They're gonna be juniors playing, like you just said, right? Moving up. Look, hit me out. But they was already playing as sophomores too, right? It's some of them. That's how it just happened. But the goal, the main thing is, like I said, the ones that's leaving out before them, they're gonna see where they're going. They're gonna understand what it is. They're gonna get it. I'm going to build
They're
a
gonna be
public
willing
powerhouse,
to
just like the
wait
Miami,
because they
Ohio.
wanna see what's in front of them and where they're going.
ASAP.
So
For the
my
ones
question
that, for the
still
ones that
remains
are
the
The
same.
ones
gonna have to
that
wait.
the ones that are
My
waiting.
question still remains the same. What's the difference between that and their current situation? I'll break down case in point. The system he just broke down, you had Makai Razanor was up on varsity up at Joe's as a freshman. But you had JoJo, Jameer, Forster, all of those guys that came up and started their sophomore year in the same system he's talking, right? Bergen, Quincy Porter, Naeem Parrish, all of those guys was the same thing down there as freshmen, came up and played us out. It's the same system. So my point saying is, you're
is that-
basically just shifting the show to you, and it's the same stuff happening.
No, you looking at. I'm looking at it. My kids. I'm just looking at my kids. I don't want.
When you say your
I'm saying,
kids,
I'm
what
saying,
you
I'm
mean?
saying the
Like-
kids that come from my youth program.
Okay.
Right. That's it. What I want to do is, Brick City, just stay with Brick City.
Everybody want to do that.
No. I don't know what everybody.
Park Ridge want to keep their town
do that.
hall kids
They get
in there.
that.
So
They
like
get that.
everybody
That's the
do that.
difference. Oh, wait.
Ramapo got a great feeder system.
Can I just say this?
But they're not doing it
They're-
in Bricks in North.
No, they're not doing that here where we at.
So-
But they're doing it there, and we only get one of their kids, right? But the whole town
But you
team
want-
still
it's the
together.
same for
Wait,
y'all.
That's the ones. That's why when they say they like, how he banging out with Butler or how he banging out with Cedar Grove when they're youth. If we played them on youth ball, they probably wouldn't stand a chance in front of us, right? Right? But they gonna keep playing together. They're gonna keep playing together. By the time they get to high school, run that same system, we all sprinkled with different kids here and there. They wouldn't be able to. We wouldn't even be able to play at Cedar Grove if I had all my kids from Brick City on one team. I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying system-wise,
and I'm not talking
yeah.
about the kids that's in high school.
No,
I'm
I
talking
get what
about
you're
the
saying,
babies
but I'm
coming
gonna
in.
even push back on that. I get what you're saying system-wise. Like, these are kids that play together, won together their whole lives, right? But the thing is that I say to that is the talent level in the city of Newark. Like, there's kids that don't gotta play Brick City that's just as good as the kids you talking about, and you got them.
So now there we go. So not saying those kids can still come to
Like, inner city dogs,
Hear me
inner
out.
city
Hear me out. I'll take all of those kids too. Don't get it twisted, right? But I'm thinking like this. See, I don't want to have to bank on nobody. I want to know this is how it's going, right? Sometimes you get kids. I might go here. Yeah, go to Central. Go to Weekway. It's okay. But just go there and play. Go do your thing there. You're gonna shine there too. You don't. What I want to get out of everybody's head is you don't have to go there to make it. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the point blank.
Well, I mean, we can shoot that for college too, right? Like, your son don't have to go to Penn State to make it. He don't got to go to Rutgers. When's the last time you visited a black college and send him there?
I just visited.
All right, but when are you gonna send him there? Are you pushing him there?
I'm not pushing it. That's what he trying
But
to
that's
do.
the same thing with these kids. These kids, like, moms don't be pushing them there. They be like, yo, I want to go there, right? And it's not for everybody, right? And here's the thing about it, though. When you're pursuing your dream, right? Most people are going to fall short, right? But you like to know I gave it my best shot. And that's what you see with a lot of kids. Like, y'all will say, oh, you're going up there to not play, right? There's kids trying to walk on Rutgers as we speak, and they're not going to make it because nobody invited them there. But they can live with who they see in the mirror when they could have just went right down here to King and got busy, because that's what you're saying. It's the same step.
No,
King to
that's
Rutgers.
not it. That's not
group
it.
one
That's
to
not
group
it.
four.
You talking college. I'm talking high school.
But it's the same philosophy.
No.
It just fits you. It's the same philosophy.
That's not it. That's college. And we talking
Okay.
high school. Wait. We're talking high school. That's like Camden and all that. Wait. Those high schools that really had a high school town team, they're sending their kids out. Everybody's iron for just like.
But you missing the point.
I'm not
I
missing
get what
the
you're
point.
saying. They sending their kids out, but you're saying that you don't have to go here to do that. And I'm saying, I'm using college the same thing. You don't have to go to Michigan to go pro. You don't. You can go from King. You can go from King.
We understand. I get that.
Okay, so my point being is, then why do you go to Michigan? Why do you go to Penn State?
You going there to be on the stage and I guess the television and all the
probability.
stuff.
It's the
what is-
probability.
Not even okay. So probability is one of them.
Right place,
Facilities is
right
another.
time.
Money is
Right,
another. Like
right,
all of that
right.
stuff
The
comes into your
academic
decision.
piece.
Right.
For some people, right? Because a lot of kids is cutting out junior year, right?
But some kids they using stuff as a like, for instance, somebody might say I want to go to Notre Dame or I'm going to Stanford. It ain't got nothing to do with football.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's football in.
Yeah, I mean that's
making
just the
that
best of
decision,
both worlds.
But the case I'm making is just that people take the path of least resistance, right? No, a lot of people want to build homes, right? They let them move into some nice shit, right? So when you question why people doing it, like like you did it yourself,
That's
right?
it.
But you know why you did it, and you're doing it now, right? Although you're in high school, you can show that model right now by saying, I'm gonna take my 4-star kid and tell him to go over there and play for Eddie George at Tennessee State. We're at Shabazz now. I can pick up the phone, call Tennessee State, and send him right over there, right? So he can be over there in a black college doing his thing, the biggest fish in a small pond, and he can get the same NFL look that he's gonna get at Penn State.
Let me
But
ask you
will
this.
you do that?
If a person like Nuns, right? Let's just Nuns or Augie Hoffman was like, y'all want to take the Shabazz, I'm taking the Shabazz head coaching job, right? Everybody would be like, yo, you should go to Shabazz. Don't go
think so?
nowhere. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. No, I'm giving that's a fact.
I would disagree.
But no,
No.
they would do that. They
As
would
a
haul
mother,
ass.
I would say no.
They would haul ass to Shabazz. Not saying
a
that,
mom
I'm
right
saying in
here.
general.
Yeah.
They would haul ass.
As a mom, no.
I got you.
No.
Because if you telling me that it's nuns, then you telling me it's because it's all get nuns. It's either because they got college coaching experience or because other things. That's what you're getting at that point when you
They will
say
haul ass to
there.
Shabazz.
Maybe some
I-
people
yeah,
will, and
yeah.
their credibility, and right.
I
maybe
think
for
that
their,
kids
their
in the city
connections, the
that
way they
ain't
feel
from Brick City, per se, because I think Brick City is a prestigious youth program that have alumni that little kids aspire to be like, right? So I still don't think you're going to get those kids. But those kids walking around that we later be finding out, like the Terrays and all of them that got no Brick City lineage but go and end up being those kids will flock to those schools because they'll hear that name and then people will identify that name with Rutgers or Syracuse or something like that. Yeah.
We got a kid.
But I don't think like a Jalen McClain is flying over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, she's a mom. Her kid isn't gonna fly over there because Augie is there. I mean, I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you, like, with mine, it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? And like my town is a lot safer than Newark, but it's dangerous in my county.
Right.
And there's just stuff you can get into. So for me, I just felt more comfortable being like, whether you playing or not, you graduating from this school for safety cause.
For
Right,
safety,
but
right?
it's
So
still-
that's what I wanted
but-
to say. So it's not even like, because I trust you and what you got going on, and to bring it over what you were saying. Also, like at some point, I felt like Brick City 14U could beat any freshman team you put them up
I think
against.
I always say that.
So,
Like,
so I think
Or not
Lonnie kind
freshmen.
of bringing it is full circle of what you guys were talking about, and that's why when you go to these schools, you think to yourself like, all right, yeah, I'll sit this 1 year, but by my sophomore year, I need to be playing because I could have beat your freshmen when I was 14U.
But we talking about when Toll was
But-
there, they would have been sitting to their junior year, and it'd have been okay.
But now when you said something like about the safety too,
No, I'm
that-
not indicting y'all. I'm just
because
saying
that
that
goes
if
on.
you
That's
put,
everywhere too. I'm not saying like the
Okay,
the-
well,
the
okay, so hold
drug
on. We start talking about
because
probability, yeah.
they got other drug epidemics and shit that's going on
Okay,
crazy.
well, okay. So we talk about drugs epidemics, right? My pen don't work. Drugs, right? So what else? What are these things we talking about?
I wasn't trying to make a whole thing about this, big brother. Like you know what I'm saying. I just
all
when,
right,
when it went to
we
the
don't wanna
safety
do
thing,
this.
I just
So we could just
I
put the boxes and check 'em.
I
We
mean,
could check them shits off.
I'm cool with that too.
Okay,
you know
so-
what I'm saying.
so what are we getting
Like
at
for
then?
me, huh?
What are we getting at? All right. So what do we say?
I don't know. I just know Shabazz right now, state champs.
That's
you know
what
I'm
I'm
saying?
talking about. Like,
And,
let's focus on Shabazz. Like, you don't got to kick other people back in to boost this up.
No. I'm not kicking it back in. So what I'm doing is this. My main thing is, like for instance, like our last show, I watched it. It's like, yo, I'm going at the other schools hard, and then I'm looking, and then it's like when I'm talking about the private school, it get chopped up, and it's like I can't. That can't happen. It's making me look like I'm just pushing out on my people, and just like I'm telling my people, right? You don't have to go to those schools. You don't have to do it. You can build home your own community, and then we have something to come back to.
I got a suggestion, and I think this is a straighten this all out. And I mean, do what you want with it. Y'all could do whatever. Make Shabazz look like Prudential Center. Have the city come out there and protect the schools like the way they protect the Prudential Center. And if they do that, you tell me I send my son there. Those people, they get off the train, they walk down the street. It ain't a long walk, don't get me wrong, but it's safe. They make sure that they're safe, and our schools should be safe that way.
Right, our school is safe, and
I'm saying,
not just that too, right? It's even for just say if you, I'm a ninth grader, I'm a 4.0, I'm a genius. They have North Tech, technology, Blue Ribbon School,
Absolutely.
academically. Half these school private, they can't even contest with them with that.
You're right, and I think that's what I'm saying. For me, it's not even that academic piece; it's the safety piece. That's why I said I might have a suggestion for y'all. If they could do that for the Prudential Center, they should do it for our schools. Why not? Put parameters around the schools so that way that these schools are safe. And then you know what? The mom like me will be like, you know what? I trust Nas. I trust what he got going on. I want my kids to be around strong black men so they can see them and teach them when they're not with me and they're not at home. So go ahead, go. Because I know it's protected. And I know now the city is, again, protecting it like the way they protect Prudential Center. Do that and that's your answer.
Got you. Shout out to Willenboro. One moved on to play Rumson. Union City. One beat Montclair in a bang out. Shout out to my guy Bubba. But Union City got the dub. They move on to play PCTI. And
CCI played Montclair.
PCTI played. No, they didn't. They played Montclair. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah.
Union City played what was it? Phillipsburg. And another, I wanted to say this too before we moved on to the privates, being that it's short. So and to the people of Brick City, that I shout out to the Brick City Lions 13U on their way back to Florida to do it again. But I want to apologize. I had put something out, and I was like, I guess in my feelings, we won. We had a group of people that left the team. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, to see the kids still get to where they had to get to, But love is love. I have no issues. I apologize. I just want to say that to y'all. If anyone felt offended, salute to all the kids. I really love all the kids. But my guys on their way back to Florida again for the repeat of a back-to-backer. So just wanted to get that out. Good.
Okay. So moving right along.
Before we move along,
Okay.
what did Keep It a Buck take out that we left in? You say it looked like you're going at the public schools, but we removed the private school stuff.
I don't know. I didn't want to go back to that. I just wanted to move on.
I mean,
to
but
the new
yeah,
one.
that's an indictment on the brand. To say that
Well, because
we'll leave
you
it in
got-
there when we going at our own people, but we remove it when you're going at someone else, that's an indictment on the brand. Like,
'Cause-
that's not cool.
That's the way it looked. You know what I'm saying?
How it looked that way?
Because,
Like, tell me, because I'm missing it. You know, I don't watch the
It
show,
was
so what did
no,
I?
it was other. I don't want to even go back to that. You know, what I mean, we spoke on that already, offline.
But you brought that here, so we here.
I was just telling you. That's why I wanted to put more emphasis on the Publix, because I felt like when we was talking about this whole thing with, and I don't even want to even shine a light on them, but we was talking about the St. Peter's thing when I was saying when I was a part of prep, right? When I was a part of prep and everything was good, they chose to move on to.
I dig that.
Okay.
But Keep It a Buck has let you get everything off with St. Cedar Prep since week 0. We in week 10, right? So we don't focus on the public schools, and you know, at the one point, Weekway was shining 50 nothing, blah blah blah. So you couldn't take a shot at them when you 2-4 or whatever y'all was. Now you up. You can say those things, right? And you got the trophy, so it's your platform. Give it to you, but it's not like you was muted if you did say anything. You was never muted.
I mean, I didn't see it on the show. If you watch it, it's
You know where I'm at with
cut.
that. You know where I'm at with
well,
that.
you didn't
but-
see it, so you don't know.
But
if
you
see
can't
it,
do that, man.
No,
You can't, like,
if you say you don't watch the
had
show,
carte
then you
blanche.
can't comment on it because you don't see the show.
I see sizzles with, you know, Route 1 and 9 and different things like that, right? That's coming at somebody's neck. 1 and 9?
Okay.
Route 1 and 9?
Yeah.
Who we talking about?
I don't know who we're talking about.
Who's on Route 1 and 9 now? All right, but we
airport.
don't even need, but that's the point. Like you rode on them and you was allowed that platform to do that. It's don't make it seem like, you know.
No. The reason why I wrote on prep because prep really tried to destroy us.
I get that.
You understand what I'm saying?
Nobody's questioning
They
that.
did-
We're just
what
saying
they-
you
what
had
they
the
did to
platform to
Nas
do it.
Oliver, they tried to destroy him. Right? What they did try to do with my son, they tried to destroy
that,
him.
Nas, like,
so
no.
I can't just let that go like that.
And I understand that, but what I'm saying is,
So that's what happened.
you was allowed that space to vent and to point out.
But
or
that's
to-
what I was saying, and that was chopped. So if I was like I
every
just,
week though, Nas, was it checked every week? Because
I mean, they
from
tried-
the root him to the toot him. Like it's called overkill. Like he been dead and you still shooting the man.
I could have been dead. You see what I'm saying? No. They could have killed me. They could have earthed me. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't care.
That I get, but I'm just saying don't like, because I feel like that's a shot to you. That's a shot to you to say that you speak your feelings on certain things and it's edited out.
No, that's not. I take that back if that's that.
Yeah,
If that's
that's
how
it.
it is. No, man, that wasn't that. I apologize. You know what I'm saying?
On to
On
the
you.
privates. Bergen Catholic played Paul 6, and the score there was 35-0.
Good job, Paula 6.
I want to say that Quincy Porter had 7 receptions for 146 yards.
Out of yak.
I just wanted to say that. 3 touchdowns.
What was our game of the week?
All right, we go get
thought
there.
it-
Oh, you had the under.
I was
the
underdog,
underclass.
yeah.
Yeah.
think
And the
Brett-
part, and then
I just wanted to, so I don't forget it. That's all.
we gonna go keep going.
All right, what's our next
No,
St. Thomas Aquinas?
yeah, no, Red Bank Catholic versus Holy Spirit. That was 35-21.
Ooh.
So yeah, Red Bank goes on.
And that was a controversial play within that game. I seen it, you know, come across on a lot of different, social media sites.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, there was a touchdown. So the kid from Holy Cross, is it Holy Cross? Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
The kid from Holy Spirit caught a pass in the end zone, and as he was falling to the ground, he fell, hit the ground, and then the ball came out, and it was just like, what's the high school rule with that? And that, you know, that was one of the things I seen people talk about. But you know, year after year, it's DePaul and Red Bank Catholic. So
Yeah, that's where they're going with
here
it.
we are again.
I really think that high school should have some type of playback challenge.
Yeah, I think that we should have
Like,
a challenge too.
you-
like-
I think they should get the chance to let
we
them
did
really
one year.
see.
In the COVID year, we had
had
it.
it.
Oh,
They
really?
went away from it,
I
yeah.
wonder why. Somebody spark that back up. I think that's something good to have.
Some
like
of these games, it'd be some.
we
I'm not saying
talked
Red
about a
Bank was
few.
one.
Yeah, no, but we
some of
talked
these
about
games,
a
like,
few
man, listen.
without
we
throughout
had
the
a controversial
years.
play too.
Yeah, so and again, that's the only reason I went with Butler because I was just like, sorry. I mean, I want y'all to win, but I don't know. So
Yeah, I went with Butler, not because I thought they was going to win. I went with Butler to give Nas and them some bulletin board material.
You needed something.
Yeah, I give him some bulletin board
Y'all went in there. Y'all did good.
Like not for nothing. Like Nas, I would tell you to bring the trophy here. You ain't beat me. Like there was a playing against me. Like I'm not invested in this. Like it's just
even though I
calm down.
And I wasn't going to get my score on our tally. I was rooting for y'all the whole time watching. We at the house, sitting down, watching y'all play.
And that's another thing I think people misinterpret, right? Sometimes you could pick a team like, yo, I just think that team is going to beat this team.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I'm rooting for that team. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure we all know I've picked against teams that I root for, right? It's just
gotta bet with
the nature
your
of
mind,
it.
not with your heart.
Like, don't take it personal. Like,
I'm a Giants fan, but
we in this era, like, if you ain't with me, you against me. If you
But
ain't
did you see how we beat them? No, not to go back.
So I'm gonna give you what I saw. I tuned into the game. It kicked off, and they come right down the field and hot knife through butter. They score. Right. That's
No. We scored. We had them up.
Y'all got the ball first.
We got the ball first, but we went 3 and out.
Okay, but then
our band walked in, and then we turned up.
Because I remember being like 7. I remember turning the channel, and I come back like before the half. Y'all was like playing
14
tight.
zip.
Yeah, then I come
14-7
back
in the
and I'm
third
like,
quarter.
yo, what happened? It was like 28.
It was 14-7, and then we just said stop playing with us. Like we went on some other stuff. And
I looked and I didn't think they was
27. Then they came back 2014.
Yeah,
then
you could tell
after it was like, all right, here we go, let's go.
They like, is the time over yet?
Just get them, baby.
Yeah, no.
Shout out to y'all. All right, so DePaul versus St. Thomas Aquinas. Like now, that was 13-10.
A shocker. That was a shocker. I'm watching that. My heart is pounding because I'm like, yo, I picked them. And like I feel like I was off DePaul.
Right.
And I'm back and I'm like, oh, St. Thomas ain't here yet. They haven't arrived. And they was winning.
They were winning.
They was banging out.
I'm like, so that's what I'm shifting between y'all game and other, because I just felt like something about y'all game. Yeah. And I went to Passaic County Tech, went to the DePaul game, and then I came back and it was just like, whew.
Yeah, and they pulled it out. Shout out to you, DePaul. But what I will say,
the defense played well for DePaul.
It was, what was it, 13?
It was 13-10.
10, yeah.
Yeah.
So both defense played good.
Yeah, both defense played well. Nolan James had 218 yards.
How many carries?
26 carries.
Yeah, they give it to him.
Dez had 10 receptions and 136 yards.
Shit.
They had 1 TD.
Yo, that's so crazy for 13 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that was what I will say to St. Thomas Aquinas. Whoever makes their schedule, that shows that you can play. Stop playing the schedule that you're playing and come
play the bass.
Play Shabazz. Play DePaul. Well, yeah, play DePaul during the year. Play some of the other schools. Pope. Play Joe.
They being smart. That's real smart.
I mean, maybe, but by the time they get there, they haven't had enough competition.
But let me tell you how it helps down the road. Undefeated on your way there, there's a morale that's built up around the school, around the neighborhood, around that area, around those youth programs. And you just lost the one game. Mm-hmm. And you lost it close and competitively. So now there's kids that actually believe in that, that will come. Now, let's be real. This is the same DePaul that didn't beat nobody, right? In the league. Except Don Bosco, and we know who they was, right? If they came in the league and was playing, it wouldn't look like that. So now you can't even build it to get the momentum up. They're going to show up 2 or 3 years from now with a Red Bank DePaul type. Like we here, we want to see at the table too. No different than what we saw with Pope this year. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like this is how you build. Like you can't be too ambitious early. You gotta have somebody though. So again, even when we talk about Shabazz, I hear Nas say, "Oh, these people don't want to play us." I hear certain teams say there's nothing in playing them for us. But what happens is if Shabazz just cuts through everything that they got on their schedule, then can get somebody like an Emotep or somebody to play him, and then they whip through them. What starts to happen is other teams regionally
Yeah.
start to look at that, maybe like Iona Prep, and say, "Yo, I want some of that." Then you cut through them. Now you here,
That's right.
right? Now you here, but you got to build to that. If you mess around and just Shabazz came in right now, like they started this season slow. If they just jumped into the type of games he want to play, y'all wouldn't win no games until y'all got to the playoffs. Why? Because your kids were able to find themselves slowly. You can I don't think St. Peter's is as bad as they ended up being. I just think that mentally they was done. They was done. Like, it's hard to every week get up for the same result. And remember Delbarton, like, they fumbled into the touchdown. So I just think that you can build a certain morale, especially in a city, right? Like, let's take y'all for example. The city started to get behind you, like, yo, they 13-0 for 3-ish. Imagine if they did some Caldwell stuff. Like,
That's another one I want to chase down.
that wouldn't be
Because
right for y'all.
we playing everybody. We Cedar Grove almost beat them.
No, I'm just saying that wouldn't be right for y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I think that, like, y'all should Hemotep charters.
Yeah.
There's schools that's like that out there that don't see it the same. Because remember, it's not about PowerPoints, but you don't want to play no early games. That's the problem. For those type of games, you got to play those in week 0, 1, and 2.
That's it, right?
And if you want to build it, if you want to make the whomever, I don't want to call no schools out, but the schools you say don't want to play y'all, they'll have to play you at that point because you're a reputable name.
Right.
So 1 or 2. I say get 1 or 2. And maybe not or a full schedule, but 1 or 2. You gotta get somebody. You can't play.
Like, we'll go with E-Hall. That's a great way to jump right out into it. You know what I'm saying? It's another public. It's the same type of environment.
Oh, for
they
sure.
They go play nationally. So
Yeah, I holler at them too.
you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to my man though. He hit me. He hit back though. He said
And that would be dope. Battle of the Bridge.
Yeah.
To have
I
that.
wanna do one
You
of
know what
those
I'm
too.
saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna get all on that.
And see what
And
week
Union
that
City.
everybody else
Valdez.
is doing it. See if
Valdez said he'll do it.
that'd be
No, you
dope.
right on that.
On the same week. So it's,
Yeah.
Jersey versus New York.
E-Hall versus Shabazz.
Sorry to keep jumping back and forth.
Right,
to that, y'all,
right.
but Nas will make this the Shabazz show.
Listen,
so-
we gotta get on they props. So St. Augustine versus Donovan Catholic. So this is where you went sleep. Who you go with?
I went with Augustine.
Who you go with?
I went with he went with.
No,
I went with Donovan
did you write it down?
Yes, I did.
I think we all went with
No.
Donovan.
I went with Donovan Catholic. Y'all went with St. Augustine. And so because of that one, just letting y'all know.
Yeah,
once we
because
touch-
Donovan Catholic had beat them early in a close
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
yeah.
But St.
That's
Augustine
right, that's right.
gonna
come
get
back. Right,
yeah.
exactly. So this one puts me up. I'm in the lead, just so y'all know.
You the smartest one here.
Yeah.
Okay,
No
just so y'all
surprise.
know.
You right.
All right.
surprise.
Oh, me Nostradamus.
Right now.
Okay, so moving right along to Seton Hall Prep versus St. Joe's. 35-28. Seton Hall Prep won.
This is the game a lot of people, I got a lot of DMs and calls. And what's your take on that? What you gonna say and keep it a buck? And my response for that is the same thing I've been saying since week 5. It's the same thing. It was the same theme since week 5. So what I would say to that is that weeks 0 through 5, you get teams building up into who they're going to be. Like, some teams are sloppy. You clean a lot of different things up, right? And then you get to like 6 where you kind of start rolling. You have your identity, who you be. And you can see teams change between week 0 to week 1, week 1 to week 2, week 3, such and so on. You can see teams change, right? Because those are adjustments, those are coaching. We move this kid, we change this scheme. They're having trouble with that, and then we find who we are. The one thing you can't change after week 5 is your culture. You know what I'm saying? Your foundation. You can't change that. So after week 5, that's usually where the teams have cleaned up the penalties, taking care of the ball, those different things. Joe's didn't do that. So after week 5, I already knew what it was with them, and people took it as an indictment because of the talent that I'm hating or I'm shitting on them. And it wasn't that. Talent don't win games. There's some really talented teams that's home right now. You know, Paramus Catholic I still say is one of the most talented teams in New Jersey, right? But talent don't win games, right? Like, you can't even fix it. After like week 5, you can't even fix it in a practice week to get there because you've practiced a bad habit for so long, it's going to rear its head. You know, like what they say, the 1,000 rep rule. Anything you do for 1,000 reps becomes a habit. So you can lock in, but when you get tired, you go back there. Some of the mistakes we saw there, not only did we see those mistakes every game prior, we saw those mistakes last year. We saw those mistakes in practice. So for me, it was just like, what do y'all want me to say? The same thing I said all the time. You know what I'm saying? I always said Joe's is a talented team. Joe's can't beat themselves. Joe's can't play against the refs. They can't play against the other team in themselves. And they created that environment for themselves game after game after game. And it comes to a point where it's like, you know how the coach says, as long as I'm yelling at you, it's because I see something in you. You notice last week I just said they're going to win, right? Usually I'll say they're going to win, but blah, 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 blah. I got no, you know how the coach said, once he's not talking to you, he only going to play you. I was done talking to him. So that's my spill on that.
What do you think?
Oh, what do you think?
I want to shout out Jalen McClain. He had 17 tackles. And I think that is amazing.
Jalen McClain is that guy.
Jalen McClain is that guy. And his journey continues. Shout out to Yasin Willis, Terrence Sumter.
Terrence, I turned on the TV. Terrence was screaming for an 85-yard touchdown.
Terrence had 1 carry for 80 yards and a touchdown. So, shout out to you, Terrence Sumter. Shout out to you, Yasin Willis, Ricky Anastasia. Spencer is a senior also, correct?
Shout out to all the seniors.
Yep. Shout out to all of y'all. I did it last week. I got to do it for y'all this week. Today starts the next level. Keep doing what you're doing. Call your trainers. Get in the weight room. Get ready for college and do what you're doing. You're not going to catch it enough. Move right along.
Shout out to my guy Train and the whole Joe's guys, man.
All the Joe's,
all the seniors, man. Yeah, Terrence. If I'm missing
and if I forgot
anybody.
Ramin, you know.
Renzi?
Yes.
Damn.
Yes. Shout out to you. Yeah.
Yeah, my phone rang. God's plan.
It did.
Wow.
There it goes. Trust in God's plan, right? Everything happens for a reason. You don't understand it, but you'll see it on the other end of everything.
A lot of people were saying upset. We was going back and forth.
Yeah, I scratched. You went back and forth yourself. I have it scratched out. First you said Seton Hall, then you said, no, I think you said Joe's, then you said Seton Hall prep, then you said Joe's. So
I lost anyway. I went with Joe's. But,
yeah, we all kind of.
Like I said, man, shout out to Liam.
Shout out to Liam.
He's looking
No,
good.
shout out.
Look, the
Sorry.
running back, number 4.
Michael
Who was number
Dunmore.
4?
Michael Dunmore.
He was just moving.
So here's the funny thing, right?
8 yards.
Here's the thing, right?
I didn't even write the
So
carries.
again, bad tackling. It's the same stuff for 2 years.
Your guy that y'all was talking about earlier in the year.
Who?
Remember y'all was saying he was the strength of the team? The kid that got hurt for Joe's.
Oh,
They
yes.
sound
Will
loud.
Barberry.
Regardless.
Yeah.
He played?
No, he's out for the
So,
season, and also
and the
Jordan.
kid Jordan, and
Jordan.
that's the defense. That's the side they
defense.
ran right.
Right,
on
they took advantage of
But
the fact that it wasn't there.
Not to slight Michael Dunmore, I want to stick on that because I remember telling our guy Matt Thomas when he was talking to me about Ryan Trafford with Delbarton. I said another kid that's like that don't get a lot of press is the kid from Seton Hall Prep. He's over 200 pounds. He's 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? And if he was in that same system that Delbarton has, he'd be doing the same thing that Trafford did. And I was just glad that people got to see him.
Now I want to bring it back to where at one point it was like Joe's got the best receiver core and probably the best DBs because I was going against Bergen. We had this conversation, I think it was, right? The way they played Bergen, did they play Seton Hall Prep the same way? Because
They had more when they played Bergen.
So what's up? All right,
So that's
John
what I was
Foster.
gonna
John
say.
Foster.
Wait.
John Foster. Train. Rosenall. JoJo. Nate the Great. Terrence. Quarterback.
What you getting at with all of that?
How they lose to Seton Hall with all that talent?
The same way you lost your games with all of that talent.
What
Same
game?
exact way. You got 3 losses on your schedule, right? How many losses you got?
So here's
No, some of
Hold
my
on, T.
some
How
of
many
my
losses you
losses
got?
came. I got 3
It
losses.
don't matter how they came.
But 2
we
losses.
can name your kids the same way. You
look,
got dudes.
But 2 of the losses came from without all my dudes playing.
well,
Yo,
that's what.
but how many
this
do
is what
you
I'm about
need?
to- Well, here's what I. That's why I was gonna
Because
say.
they don't got all their dudes
Right,
either.
well,
like,
this is what I was about
you gotta
to say.
you gotta keep it all the way real
So,
and halfway even.
Without
But
having them, hold on. This comes to what you guys were talking about earlier, right? Losing someone like Will Barberry and Jordan, right? Jordan is one of the defensive ends that was key to the defense, and not having the depth that you guys were just talking about. Not saying that they don't have. I don't know who. I don't
Where's
even know
that
who
kid
was-
that's waiting to
Well,
his
that's
turn to
what
play?
I'm trying to say. I don't know the kid who played. I'm not familiar, but
I know him, and he's new to that position. And I think he did the best he can. You know, shout out
you want to
Justin
play a
G.
game. This the first time you get to get in the game, and you do the best that you can. But that's what I'm saying. Like that takes to what you guys said. Sometimes you sit and you're waiting, and maybe they don't want to sit and wait because they didn't get a chance to really get dirty. So now you're in a playoff position, and you didn't play against the Bergens. You didn't play against the Delbartons. You don't.
And we
have
got all
no
this
scratches on
talent,
your
so we just gonna
helmet.
let them sit the bench and don't play at all, right?
The people played. The hurt people didn't play.
No, here's the thing. You ask questions about all those guys, right? And the irony in that is this response was said actually before you asked the question, because I pointed out how talented Paramus Catholic is and different things like that. So we look at Paramus Catholic. You can ask what happened to Kenyon, what happened to Xavier Williams, what happened, right? There's a bunch of teams we could sit here and go down the line and say, your best running back in the state, Tyleek, what happened to them, right? At the end of the day, the teams that's playing right now have the best infrastructure. And as the team get knocked off, the ones that's going to be remaining is the ones with the best infrastructure. Players don't win you games. Those are individuals.
Right.
So again, you play that game when y'all lost games, y'all got Division I kids on your field. You got Division I. Don't matter who you missing. Nobody else. You can take all of the teams that y'all play in your whole league, put them together, and you might not find no Division II kids. Like, you can't ask questions like you don't have all of that experience.
No, what I'm saying to you is, okay, no, I'm not dropping that. What I said was, if those guys have all of those talent and everything not happening for those kids, and I've seen it done before there, and they're not repeating it. I know we're gonna get it done here. I don't care what they got. I know what we got. So as long as I'm putting them out, that's cool. Obviously, my film is showing something that somebody got something.
So again, that's different than what you initially stated.
I don't know.
That's different than what you initially stated, because you named, some talented kids. Mm-hmm. And we know you got some talented kids. Mm-hmm. And you got 3 losses to show for that with those talented kids. Mm-hmm. Is that indictment, like you said? And when you said we lost those games, you said that was on us. We got to pull it together.
Yeah, as the coaches.
Blah, blah, blah.
I said that.
Because it's not talent. It's not about talent.
One thing I never did was I never blamed it on the kids.
Well, you named those
kids. What I
kids.
was saying was,
What did they do with the kids?
No. I said we had kids that had to sit out for the games. Is what I was saying. I'm talking about. All right, when you playing, especially in the beginning of the year, right? Obviously, even the kids that sitting out, they're actually playing with you. Shabazz went through so much in the beginning of the year, was crazy. That's what a lot of people don't understand, is what I'm saying. They was trying to shut us down. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when kids, like the transfers we had they left us and went to Joe's or went to Paramus or went anywhere else, they would have played right away.
My moral of the story, what I'm saying is, because you asked the same question that another parent called, and he named the same names you named as it was an indictment against the kids. Those kids went out and did what they do. They balled out.
No. When I was naming, so I don't want you to think like if that's the case, I
didn't take it that way.
Okay, I damn sure wasn't putting it for the kids.
I took it as you said. What did they do with those kids?
So
how did they utilize the kids?
They don't. That's what that's my point. Maybe I don't articulate well, right? So, and I don't want to go back to no St. Peter's, but I watched kids play that were good. And like you said, why do somebody have to wait? Is what I'm saying to you. When he's talented enough to play, he should be able to get some kind of sprinkle in there, touching it, doing something. So when it is his turn as a junior, he's ready to go. Like that kid you said that probably wasn't playing as well. Had he been at his local public school, he probably been going crazy there and having a film to put out. So it may not be he playing against the Seton Hall or the Don Bosco, but he playing against somebody else and it's showing his ability to get to the ball or whatever it is. That's all I'm saying. Why wait when you really could play? It's kids that's there that really is ballers. I'm saying for me, I'm looking at it. If they come back to me, man, they may go across town when they transfer from Bosco to Bergen and probably have the same results because of it's probably those same kind of kids there. But if he went to let's say whatever it was, as a Clifton or East Orange campus and went crazy and now he got footage. We seen this plenty of times. We talked about this earlier in the Keep It a Bucks when Smoke was doing it. That's how Smoke was doing it. He was taking the kid. He took the kid from the Paul kid. He's a third string running back at DePaul. Came to Irvington and was the starting tailback. Ended up at Buffalo.
Jameer.
But I'm saying, but he had a bunch of those kind of bounce back kids that was like that was able to get a shot. Maybe that's the point I was trying to point. I can't. Sometimes I might mix my words up, but that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying. I don't want to say that I got any issues with the private schools. That's all. Summing all that up. That's what I was saying.
Moving right along to our game of the week. Bosco versus Delbarton. 14-9. Delbarton took the win on that one.
That to me, that was a great game, and Bosco let him off the hook. Bosco let him off the hook. Like, I thought that I hadn't saw a more foolish play since St. Peter's at Paramus Catholic when they're in the red zone and they need 1 yard, and then they came in with the sneak play. You got the guy coming off the sideline, they called the quarterback motion, and then it was just a mess, right? Bosco, yo, Iggy, in my bad, bro, I love you, but I got to call it like it is. Bosco said, hold my drink. We can do something more foolish than that. No. They need 1 yard. They need 1 yard, and then they take a defensive end that's committed to Monmouth to play defensive end. They put him at tailback. They make their quarterback motion out, and they try to direct snap to a defensive end, and he put the ball on the floor. That's not even his fault. You get what I'm saying? Because he's practiced certain habits and movements. His muscle memory is so different. You get what I'm saying? That why would you put him in that situation? You got a 6'5" quarterback. You need 1 yard. All right, even if you want to take the defensive end and hand him the ball, but you about to make him Reggie Bush for 1 yard? That decide the game, and you know what happened? He put it on the floor. Dude picks it up and runs it back 99 yards for a touchdown. And that's the score that decides the game. Man.
Well, sounds like a game of the week.
Man, listen.
So
I said I'm not advocating for nothing, man, but it would have been tough.
shout out your seniors in the comments, Delbarton. Sorry, not Delbarton. Bosco. If you have any seniors on, shout them out. Who's up there?
Logan Bush.
Logan Bush.
Lamont Lester. And, let me be clear when I say that. Lamont Lester is a big part of their team. And he had, since the transfer of Marquette Dorsey and Richardson. Am I saying his last name? Jalen Richards? Richards.
Yeah.
They was grasping for straws. They put him back there, and he was able to, run the ball and get some real positive yards. But you have running backs that they got the sophomore kid.
Yeah. He a beast. I just saying them.
Been beasting out for him.
They ain't running. They wasn't running them.
Yeah, they ran him, but not then. They go to that. Like, why'd you do that? Like, man, it was just frustrating to watch because those kids deserve that. They deserve the opportunity to have that in the season that they've had, But I also want to shout out the coaching staff too, right? Well, I'm getting on them a lot for that call, But the reality of it is to be in a position to let one play decide your game with, and this is no indictment to the kids, but they don't have what I'm saying y'all have, what you're saying Joe's has, what what Bergen has, what Pope John has, what PC has, right? They don't have a lot. And they coach them boys up to almost upset the number 2 team in the state, right? That's about what you do from weeks 0 to 10, how you get better, right? They don't have a lot.
They do. That's what I'm saying. No, I get it.
Bosco has a lot.
No. All right, so, and that's where I'm coming to, right? That's what I'm saying. They do have a lot because even those kids that's sort of freshmen is good. Like, that's what I'm saying to you. Like, but they may not be ready for that stage, correct? That's what we're talking about.
I think Bosco has a system. They have a culture, and you're going to play within that. And this is why I think a lot of kids transfer out of Bosco, right? Because what I like about Sabella is you're going to buy into what we're doing. Yeah. And if it's not for you, you're going to leave. Yeah. But those who stay, like, this is why he's been in the state championship almost every year since being there without having the most talented team. Because this is how we do things. And if you do it this way, we'll be successful. Now, give him some of the guys these other guys got.
No, I believe that.
Man, listen.
He showed it. He's seen it.
Because it's nothing but Vito's the same way.
Yeah.
Except for Vito's probably, more personable, so the kids, those type of kids, stay around. You get what I'm saying? But if Sabella had that with the structure that he sets, look at what they do. Like, and again, I'm not trying to say that they don't have talent, because they do. Yeah. They do have talent. But that's not a traditional Bosco team. Gotcha. You get what I'm saying?
So now, there you go. I remember somebody said this to me. Dave McPherson. Shout out to Dave McPherson. Dave McPherson told me this years ago. He said, Coach Toll don't need you to win a state title. He could do that on his own. The reason he's here is to win a national championship. Mm. When he wanted those kids, that's when he started getting those kids.
Damn. That's heavy.
You see what I'm saying?
That's heavy.
So once you get to a certain point, you're like, let me.
It's heavy because I know that's true. Like, I never thought about it like that. Like, state champ, we do that. Yeah. Because he was from 04, 05. Mm-hmm. He was doing that with quarterback Steve Levy, I think his last name was. He had this guy running over the whole league, right? He had probably 1 or 2 real studs, and it was state championships. And then when he got, those other kids, it was national time. Yo, I didn't think about that.
So, I mean, that's there. That's what I just, so what's our next thing? Because I really want.
Go there, man.
I think you.
I planned on being quiet, but
no, I
gotta add
I love
side.
It. Okay. So when I look at the Miami Centrals, right? They from where we from here, there, right? But they putting them out. So one thing I always learned is this: if you ever know nothing about me, anything I put my mind to, especially with football, like I'm not the genius dude, but putting some people together, I can do that, and then help them get to the next level. I can do that. All I need is the institution, and the institution is here now. So I'm trying to make it to where you look at those when you go to Georgia. That's not a private school they're going to. They're going to those schools. You know what I'm saying? Where they're able to come out of from. So I just want to be that part here, and that's why that's my focus of trying to and using sports to help better the community. That's how you bring them together through sports. Now going to our games, right? Just being honest with you, you don't see the fights, you don't see anything. It's love. Like when you hear the band and they dance and everybody having fun, I couldn't wait to see that feeling back in the city. Seeing like fathers bringing their sons to games now again, that was dope. Watching them wear like they old jackets and like, yo man, thanks for Shabazz and that's a wonderful feeling. Like I walked into the barbershop, yo, the bar it was packed. Now I'm in Weekway territory because I'm on Lions Ave at the Poppy spot over here, and they like, yo, man, that was dope, man. Y'all knocked them off. Everybody was saying this, that, and the third. But the feeling was, y'all graduated from Shabazz here. I was just like, I go into the restaurants. Lady like, man, take that Shabazz stuff off, right? I said, nah, we got the job done. And after that, she was just like, yo, you know what? You're right, man. Here, take this uptown, blah, 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 blah. It felt good. It felt like, it felt special. So that's what I just want to bring back, man. I just want to bring the love back, like the back in the day feeling that they had it where when you played sports, everybody looked out for you.
Absolutely, and that's what I was basically trying to say. Like, if you go to these other states, I'm not even going to say town, go to other states. That's how it is. Like, you go down south on a Friday night, the city shut down,
Yeah.
and you better not try anything out of order. And it's football players and football is going on, and that could be it. Like, that could be the answer.
So, I totally understood where you was going. I did, and I honestly I respect where you're going. I just personally felt like we didn't have to talk about nobody else to get there, because the solution to getting where you're going is, like I said, just win. See, winning cures all. Like, don't think that those people that's dancing and partying don't still got the same problems they had before they came in.
Word.
The difference is the vibe, right? Winning cures all. Now, you start losing, people start punching each other in the face. Like, no, that's just how it goes. No, winning is the ultimate deodorant. Everybody smiling. People got problems with stuff when you winning, but when you winning, they can't say nothing because you winning, right? So those problems, one's the word. But when you losing, people feel like this is the time to show my ass,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because we losing, and we losing because you not doing X, Y, Z, right? So I say, like, winning is the ultimate deodorant. Nothing brings, us together like sports, for starters, and a winning program, right? It's something to be proud of, right? Like, where I'm from, a religious group pretty much took over the whole area and sucked all of the resources out of the schools, right? And it was just so amazing to me. Like, growing up, it's a black town. Well, it was. And it was blue ribbon schools. The 2 high schools in our town was blue ribbon schools. And we had all of the resources you can think you wanted. I mean, we had like thespian club and key club and all this different stuff. And it got to the point where the kids didn't even have books. Like, they had to make copies to do homework. Like, the teachers had to make copies to send you home with copies to do homework. Then it got to the point where we don't even do homework, right? And they started cutting back revenue from the athletic programs. But the academics had been took a hit. My people, yo, it was an uproar. The sports. Oh, you taught the sports. And I'm like, whoa. Yo, y'all know y'all kids ain't had textbooks in 3 or 4 years? So I go to say, like, that's what brings us together, sport, right? And this is 2 losing programs in my town at this point. But if we was winning, like when we was winning, one of my friends, we was joking, talking about being in this club. You got to be grown to get in there. The high school football team was winning. So because they was winning, they can go anywhere. They was up in the clubs at nighttime, 2 in the morning. Like, these are high school kids. And we're like, yo, what was we really doing? We was winning. When you winning, like, everything's open to you. Yeah. You go to eat, you go to pay, they tell you, nah, that's good. Keep doing what you're doing. Word. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how you build what you're trying to build. Because when Brick City was built at the end of Broadway. If you didn't win, there ain't nobody talking about Brick City.
Word.
Like, and it's funny now, is because I remember when you had a few teams in the ward league, because I remember we invited y'all up to a jamboree. And you come up, it's called Spring Valley. You're like, and I remember you talking mad breezy. And we had this one bunch, that was that bunch. And they choked you, right? They choked you. And it wasn't the same.
What team was that?
It was one of your teams, because you was up there.
I was coaching that team.
This is, I'll tell you who was. This is when Julian Conover was there. Yeah, I mean, you in the middle of the field. You talking.
That wasn't ISO. Look, I remember that ISO. Here we go. So you said Omar Conover was there?
No. I'm talking about from our side. Julian Conover, LB Mack, Isaiah Dean, Jamel, all these kids.
So one year, I'm gonna break my whole Spring Valley thing down to you.
All right, man. More of the story is when Brick City was winning. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody want to be a part of that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody with the rock. You ain't gonna get a lot of kickback.
Yeah.
Even from your parents. You start losing, it happens. So just my point is, like, again, like I told you to start this, like, we pick, you know what I'm saying? I can't sit at this table all day and root against you for some people that I don't even know. Like that don't
No,
even
I
make
got you.
sense. Like you gotta be like, you gotta have a real juvenile mind state to actually think that's possible. So there's no way we're rooting against you. Everybody's watching. They're like, oh, they scored. They just scored their first touchdown. Blah blah blah. Right. So we root for you, right? We root for Shabazz, right? And that's not to say we don't root for Weequay, like, because
Yeah.
again, when they was doing some amazing
You was
stuff,
going crazy
I
for
ain't
him.
never. I'm like, yo, like that's dope stuff, like you know what I'm
You
saying?
donuts.
I just was telling y'all already. I was already
You was
giving it to you.
letting
No,
us know
and
it was coming.
and I just want. I love y'all. Remember that. I love y'all. I'm just telling you. I told them this. I was telling you this. We, not saying we just prepare a little different. That's what I'm saying. That's all. That's what I'm gonna say. We probably prepare the best.
And you guys are new on the block,
Yeah.
right? So Nas Olive's a first year head coach. This is, you've been known as a youth coach, so now you up there, right?
That's the
but
funny
this guy
part.
Logan,
That's probably what it means the most.
this guy Logan, from the research I've done, has been doing this probably since y'all was babies, right? So when I see him doing, and remember, I'm not from here. I'm new. I'm a visitor.
Yeah.
You know, so when I see him putting 50 bagels on people, and then y'all stumbling out the gate, and then I'm down in Weequay Park, and he talking super breezy to you, and then I'm looking and I'm
Oh, you
seeing
was
the
saying
long
that you was
African
there.
kids, and I'm seeing the guy,
Oh, you was
and I'm like, yo, but I
there.
never saw y'all, right? So I'm like, and then Weequay won it last year, right? So yo, this is them. You know what I'm saying? This is them. Like, I was scared for you. Off the camera, I told you, like, yo, you promoting y'all so hard that y'all gonna get Weequay on the map.
said
Because
that.
when they 50 bagel y'all, everybody gonna wanna go there. And then we found out what the real thing is, right? But that wasn't rooting against you. We just talking real football, man. We talking what we think, right? And what we say. If we wrong, we gotta come on here and say I was wrong.
Yeah. But shout out the Weequay, man. You know what? Our motto was we wasn't gonna let them beat two New York teams back to back. That wasn't happening.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Weequay. They was at the game supporting us. You know, hitting us up, yo, this what they doing, X, Y, and Z. So you can see the love. It's not like they just, I believe they rooting for Shabazz, you know what I'm saying? I want to believe that a lot of people rooting for Shabazz, but Shabazz just got to continue what they got going on. And this week, they're up against another team that beat Weequay.
Yeah, I thought
This is
Weequay
a
had
year
two
ago.
losses.
No, a year. In this game, the same game. They knocked Weequay off in the same game. You know what I'm saying? Mountain Lakes, Wing T team.
So let's get to it then.
Yeah, so let's get to next week. So we have Bergen versus Donovan.
Bergen.
Bergen by a lot.
Bergen. I don't think it's gonna be.
No,
by a
I'm saying
lot.
30, like,
Okay.
I ain't saying they going to.
Last time I checked,
50
30 was a lot.
But by
I-
30, or they
no.
gonna put 30 points up?
See, that's what I'm.
They gonna put
so,
30 up.
So look. So that's what I
They gonna
mean.
put 30 points up, but Donovan gonna score.
Can I just say something? So it ain't the same like when Toll had it then.
Why you say that?
Because he would have put 30 on them.
30, that would have been first
He's
quarter.
going to. They're going to do that. It's going to be a lot to a
then he
little.
gonna put the
You know what I'm
babies
saying?
in.
See, because this
So
is
you
the thing
have to
about Bergen, right? Now that the season's over, I can tell you, man for man, when everything was equal, Joe's had a better cast of players than Bergen. But Bergen do what you supposed to do. They don't. They focus on the little things, right? But then you take the talent they got. So look at what Joe's did to Donovan, right? And Joe's are just great athletes. Bergen got some of those, and they got some real fundamentals. They can tackle. They can do. They're not dropping the ball all over the place. They're not running with their head down, swiping like. They going
Yeah.
boat race Donovan. And they're going to really boat race him. If y'all sit up here and try to act like it's going to be good, it's going to be worse for him. I'm
It's gonna
telling you
work for
that.
Donovan.
Like, I'm not sure of a lot of things, but I'm sure what the day of tomorrow is, and I'm sure of who Bergen is. You get what I'm saying?
So, okay, Bergen
Shout out to
Castle.
Bergen. I'm taking you for this week. Gonna make me a winner.
I know you taking them, but you saying close. What you
I'm
taking?
saying no. I'm not saying close. I just was like, I don't know if they gonna do 30. I think.
Why not? They did 30 with everybody else.
I guess
Why not?
30. Yeah. I guess. Donovan, make sure you score. All right, then you have Delbarton versus Seton Hall Prep. This is what I think our game of the week should be. I think that
Who? Delbarton.
Delbarton versus Seton Hall Prep.
Yeah, that might be a good game.
It's gonna be a good game.
Because I'm going to be honest, I think that's going to be a good game because they're mirror image teams. They're mirror image teams. It's not a lot.
It's gonna be a
there.
real good game.
Yeah, they coached.
Yo, Seton Hall Prep is back.
Yeah,
Gotta say it. Gotta say it for
everybody
right
been
now.
giving Delbarton their praises, and Seton Hall Prep say, "Hey, wait a minute, don't forget about us. We here."
Yeah, what's so crazy is I want to talk breezy. Like you said, Seton Hall Prep is back, and I wanted to be like grand opening, grand closing, but I don't know.
I
No, I don't know
what
neither.
the
I'm gonna
game's
keep it
gonna
a
be.
buck. I don't know. I said
So
that.
that's why
I
I,
don't
said
even.
this one needed to be a game of the week. I'm going Seton Hall Prep. I'm gonna tell y'all why. Remember when we started the first show and we said, "Oh, who's going to be a dark horse?" I took Seton Hall Prep as my team that I thought might. Now I really want to win.
I'm
we
You gotta. You know, it's only right to pick the team that knocked you off. So no, any otherwise you'd be.
So I'll go first.
Okay, who you going?
I got Delbarton, and I got Delbarton because they can tackle, they can hold on to a football, they can stay on sides.
I gotta go with Seton Hall
we-
Prep.
Okay, Seton Hall Prep. All right, Seton Hall Prep. You have to win.
So
'Cause
y'all
if you-
both did Seton Hall Prep.
Yeah.
So
you
I
have
should
to
get
win.
double the points
No,
if I
you're not
beat
getting
y'all.
double
I
the
should
points.
I should get double the
If that's the
points.
case, I should get double the points last week for Donovan.
No, I really wanted to, cause you know what? In
Yeah,
my
you
heart,
know, last
in my
week
heart,
we
I
went
want to
back
see.
Let me tell you why.
I want Delbarton to win. I want Delbarton to win because I feel like they got the best chance of beating
Beating Bergen.
Bergen.
I want to see that game. Remember in the COVID year, they missed that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that game. I want to see that game, you know.
But I'm
But I don't think they got a chance of beating Bergen either.
so
I think as long as Bergen don't get a big head, Bergen's going to go ahead and get the 3 in a row. That starts the dynasty. That symbolizes they separated themselves from the rest of the state. It's Bergen, and then it's everybody else. And that's a lot to play for. But it's also very hard to get when you're going for that 3-peat and stuff like that. But I'm excited about the whole idea with that.
we'll see him soon.
It can happen though.
Stay
Like it
focused.
can happen. Like
Stay focused.
because that's another thing, right? And I'm not saying you should do this at all. But if y'all reached out to schedule Miami Central or a Miami Western, they'd play y'all, right? And then you automatically launch. You play that close or you win that. Now it's kind of like we don't want to play y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not sexy enough for us. You know, we want the Bishop Gormans. We don't want y'all. You know, so
Like, you just spark
it can go 2 ways. Like,
I'm glad
you know how they say I get tired of looking for you, shoot your mouth, make you look for me.
Yeah.
I gotta go with that whole aspect.
Spark
Like,
a light
let me go
bulb.
beat the teams y'all can't
So
beat.
then I'm always number one in the
Play
state.
Grayson. You know what I'm saying?
I play Grayson, Imhotep.
Because they're, from what I remember about their coach, well, he's a new coach there. It's not Carter, but Carter don't want to play no more privates. But they'll play in a city school. Going out there and get something done, and now y'all too sexy for Jersey.
That's right. Got to play myself on the road.
Okay.
Ain't that what you built Brick City on? Like,
That's what I'm saying. So as long as I got the
and
pieces,
then you don't have to worry about selling kids.
I'm playing them right here. I'm doing it right here. That's what that. So you.
But I'm trying. No, I got you the whole time. I'm just saying the way you was going about it just wasn't right.
Okay, so we apologize about that. So now what I'm saying is, that's what I've been saying though.
I got you.
You articulate
I
very
knew
well.
exactly what you were saying, but I didn't think you had to say.
I didn't mean to say that. All right, so make sure you we'll talk about that. But you know,
All right, and the undercard, I'm thinking, you tell me what you think. The undercard should be Union City versus PCTI.
yes,
Yes.
that could have been game of the week.
I think that is. I think
that's
that is.
game of the
that's
week.
Yeah,
Heck
yeah, we got it.
All right.
Yeah.
So switch it around. Union City versus PCTI is the game of the week. Let us know in the comments. Who do you
Group
have?
5 football. That's Group 5. Then
And-
bring it down to Group 4 for
And
the
then-
undercard.
Okay, undercard is Delbarton versus Seton Hall Prep. So
Hold on. So if PCTI is on the other side waiting for the winner of this, because those have been the best that I know, the best 2 teams in Group 5.
It's got to be Camden and somebody else.
From down there.
South.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So is Winslow a Group 5? Because I know they still rock.
I was going to say, I did see their name on some poll or
Yeah.
something. Okay, so who you got?
Is Tom Driven? They knocked out?
Tom's River still in it.
Okay, it could be them, right? They Group 5, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably the other side of the bracket.
So I'm going with is Camden Group 4 or Group 5?
Man, I'm
Whatever it is.
I'm
All right, we good. We'll figure it out. But
Union City versus PCTI.
I'm going Union City. They had a tight game before. And Union City on the rise, and like I really mess with those guys. Pauls, like they good guys.
So
Did they play? They played them before.
Cherokee.
They played them before. They PCTI beat them close game.
Toms River's a Group 5 too, and they got Cherokee.
Cherokee.
Okay. Who do you have?
Who do I have? Out of Passaic County Tech and
Well, I'll let you. I'm going PCTI.
Union City.
Shout out to you, Jaja.
PCTI got the first one too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tight.
Where do they play? Hold on.
They don't
Yeah,
matter.
I'm
They
in
play
the
I'm
PCTI.
trying to get these brackets.
They're gonna play PCTI. They number one.
Because they
seed.
the number one seed. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going PCTI.
Yeah, so the final four is PCTI versus Union City and Toms River versus Cherokee. Winner take all after that. So let me see. PCTI took the first one. See, I'm gonna be right. Like, I know I watched some of those kids at PCTI grow up. You know, a lot of the Silk City kids went on over there. So I feel like, you know, you just go with the familiar thing. But with Union City, they took a loss the first time. And I always like when two good teams meet, I go, and I lost messing with Donovan and the other one. But I'm going to go try that theory again.
So you're going
I'm going to go with Union City.
Okay.
What y'all went with?
He went with Union City also, and I'm going PCTI. So this one is going to put me in the lead.
Yeah.
CCI, go handle your business. Juice?
And they still undefeated, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a magical season if they get, dude.
Yeah.
How many losses Union City got?
One.
One?
That's to them.
Ooh, good one. This is good.
This is going to be good. I'm excited to watch. When did they play? Friday or Saturday? Probably Friday night. Friday night lights.
Yeah,
Ooh, I'm excited. All right, so let us know. Who do you have? Union City versus PCTI and Delbarton versus Seton Hall Prep. And I think so. You got anything else for us? Big shout out. Good luck to Shabazz. The only school standing left in North.
And not to mention,
Before
today.
you get into that, what y'all gonna do for Thanksgiving? What do we come out, or is it gonna be the freshmen playing? Like,
Gotta
what
wait
is
till
it?
after this week.
You gonna put your pride on the line? What is it? Because there's pride involved with this too. You just can't have them y'all ain't won that game in a while. So this is really how you let the city know we really.
That's
back.
what the alumni, the people that is born bred Shabazz, they don't care what they want. That win. They want us to play.
Yeah, that's the one that matters more than anything.
You know, like
Y'all focus on Mountain Lakes this week.
that's all I'm
and then we'll
focused
talk
on.
about
That's why I
that
can't
next
really
week. Yeah.
real talk. I just been back. That's why I really couldn't ever focus on Week Way. I watched here and there just to see what they was doing, but I never really focused on them yet until I gotta focus.
You gotta win this game. What do you play? Friday?
Friday night.
Okay.
And them guys is tough, so I'm not even, like last
Y'all
week.
gotta go on the road again.
We gotta go
Road
do it.
Warriors.
Road Warriors.
So-
Where's that at?
Be ready on
South
time.
Jersey. Where's that?
It's like Pat by Butler again. So we gotta go play these guys, and but Nas Oliver, man, like I said before, that guy prepares well. He prepares his coaches prepares the kids, and I just, what I wish. We were supposed to have it's supposed to have been documented and had everyone got a chance to see the behind the scenes, the coaches going at it. It was crazy, but it was really a movie. You know what I'm saying? It was really a movie. How we lost the first game. Principal, she went in like, yo, y'all said y'all was coming here to do X, Y, and Z. And to go 0-1, like we was just up by all these points, and then we beat Westside. And she was not impressed, right? She wasn't impressed. Then we lost to Cedar Grove the next game, so we 1-2. So she wasn't impressed. So we like, yo, just chill, relax. We get this, we doing. She didn't want to hear that. And to see her now smiling ear to ear, seeing that everything came to light that we talked about, like, yo, just be patient. And honestly, now you can see, like, Like what this did to like our school building, like the culture is everyone is happy. They moving around like that. Like, what's up, champ, man? Congrats, man. It's dope. You did say that. You said that. So it make it easier for me to do my job in the school building. You know what I'm saying? Because now, like, our kids never really like kind of seen anything. Like some of the kids on the team never won anything. So for them to win that, and then now I go to a school that won a state championship. You know what I'm saying? So you can see the difference on the kids moving throughout the building. So I just want to.
Some of the kids on that team, never left Newark. That's why you got to hit the road, bro.
Yo, and you said something. We got a kid on our team. I can't pronounce his name because he definitely from the motherland. He know this. Freshman, never played football before. He wear number 30 on the team. He's a DN. This kid is going to. That's your Torre story. You know what I'm saying? So we do have those kids that play amongst Giants. We just want all the kids that's willing to buy into what we doing. Like somebody said, dang, we had like 60, 50, 55 kids. Now you look, we like down to 33, 30, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody wasn't willing to buy in, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we got,
All right. Well, that's another episode of
Keep It a Buck. Peace.